Well, hi, friends. So glad that you're here for Convention Champions. You are champions. I hear that song, "We are the champions," and believe it in our hearts. And I think it's, one of the reasons why is you are the brave ones. You are the ones that are here that raise your hand and say, I'm not satisfied with where I am right now. I want more, whatever more looks like for you. And you're here on a beautiful Thursday to work on your business at lunchtime. So really glad to spend time with each and every one of you. So I thought we'd get started by sharing, and this is a small group, so we're gonna make this very collaborative because that'll be a whole lot more fun. But why are you here today? Like, what made you show up? Gina, let's start with you.
So I'm here because I need a little mindset boost. And I knew that that the people here want to grow and that I could learn something in the next 30 minutes over the next few weeks.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean, I'm already qualified, but I still think it's important to show up and attend.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's awesome. Lucy Ward, why are you here?
Growth, personal business growth. And one of the things I tend to not like to do is like the follow-ups. And so I like the accountability piece and the action behind it. So um, even things that I would normally put off, I feel like this will prompt me to do that. And plus wanting to qualify for a convention. And
Yeah.
so
Okay, awesome. So success means you follow up, sounds like. You
mhm,
do a little bit of follow up. You engage in the accountability and you take action that you wouldn't have normally.
mhm.
I love the clarity around that. Okay, Elizabeth, how about you?
I'm here because I'm pursuing growth. And for me, that means having intentional action steps, moving forward with some conversations that have already begun to grow, and the courage to plant new seeds and to remember that we have a wonderful gift we're offering. And honestly, I just show up better when I have an accountability group. And so I know that that structure in this busy season of life is going to benefit my clients. It's going to benefit me because I'll leave myself first. And then it will benefit the new relationships that I am investing in this season.
That's brilliant. I love that. Cool. And hey, Jennifer Davis, in her Tesla today.
Yes, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
You swapped out the
Going to pick up the
minivan for the
kids.
Tesla.
Yes. Oh, it's way better, way better. But I love the question that you're asking. I think mine is going to be more silly because everybody else's is a little more serious. But I'm here today because I had a full morning at the doctor with my kid, but I saw your message come through, so I set a reminder calendar. And I just know, well, A, I do want to go to convention because I love in-person events. But B, I know that whenever I dial in and surround myself with people that are positive and engaged and trying to do better, that I end up doing better. So it's more of just like I mean, all the action steps and the accountability and all that, but I just love the surrounding of positivity that just lifts me up and encourages me to do more.
Yeah.
I don't think that's silly.
Well,
I
it's
think
a maybe less, it's a less serious. It is true, but just a less, maybe a less serious. It's just chaos in my world. So I'm just, plugging in where I can when I'm driving to pick up my kid for early dismissal. Because why do you get out at 12:15 on a Thursday? I don't know.
Why not? Right. Well, so what I hear you saying, Jennifer, is that you want to level up. Like that's why you're here. You're ready to level up.
Yeah, always. And I have had kind of a slump because I've had some other things going on in life and have kind of fallen behind as far as qualifications and ranks and all that. I feel like I do okay with talking to people and getting them into the program, and I don't do a great job of supporting them and keeping them engaged. So I always love to learn. Like Gina said, she's already qualified. I love to learn from people that are already doing the good things to keep people engaged and keep people, you know, moving towards their goals.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you. Thank y'all for sharing why you're here. And I want to I know we called this convention champions, but the definition of champion, because you know me, I had to look it up. It's a person who fights for a cause on behalf of someone else. And so I just love that definition. And I think it really speaks volumes to all of us, right? And why we're here, leveling up, getting better, growing, whatever. It's not just for us. It's really probably mostly for other people, right? So I just want to acknowledge, like, we are all here. We are all fighting for a cause on behalf of someone else. It might be our families. It might be, you know, it might be your best friend. It might be somebody in your life that you don't even know yet. But I really genuinely believe that. So I think that's pretty cool. So I know we talked a lot about convention and want to make sure everybody knows there's 2 ways that we can get to convention. So the first way is you achieve the rank of executive director or above 3 out of 6 months, and you earn the client support plus bonus 1 time. The other way to get to convention is you earn the client support plus bonus 3 times, and you maintain $2,000 of volume 3 of 6 months. So, and that is so doable. So that, you know, if you aren't yet, if you're still working on getting to convention, I would say, let's make that the goal. Earning the client support plus bonus, which means you can help 3 people. If you can help 3 new people a month or 3 people that haven't ordered in 180 days, and if they order at least $150, that's all we're looking for to get you qualified for the client support plus bonus. So wanted to just share that. Any questions about how that works? Everybody pretty good with that? Cool.
I had a question. I asked Dee this last week and she didn't know. And I don't know if that's clarification, if you know the answer to this. So so let's say there's 6,000 qualify 1 month, so they're ED. Then let's say there are 2,000 qualify in 2 other months, and then they have the 3% or 5% client support bonus in 3 other months. So the client support bonus and or the frontline volume or ED is not all in the same months. So they're spread out between the 6. Do they still qualify as long as they meet one of those within the 6 months?
I would say yes. And I don't know if that is the official answer from Optavia or not, but if that is you or anyone else and you want to be at convention, I will just go out there and say, like, we will do what we need to do to fight for, if that is you, like, making that happen, you know, because what we don't know yet, you know, is if these qualifications could change or, you know, anything else that could go on, you know. So I would say, yeah, if that's you, we see you there.
Okay, thanks.
Well, hey, Vicki Meister, glad you're here. So we got started today by sharing why we are showing up, like what we were hoping to get out of this experience. So would you mind catching us up to speed with what you hope to get out of this?
I just flew in from another meeting. So my goal is to stay motivated to, yes, I would like to reach what I fondly refer to as not convention, just because it's not the way we've done it in the past. But, and just anyway, just wanting accountability and wanting the support to work for it, because the reality is, it has to be, I mean, we've got March, April, and May. So it's like, make it or break it.
Yeah. So let's make it.
Exactly.
Let's make it. Cool. I love that. Thanks for sharing that, Vicki. Okay, so I think all of you guys have been ED in the past, right? And so I would love for you to think about for a minute at the time that you feel like your business was on top, like you feel like, you know, you are really in the zone, really in the groove. What does that feel like when you think back on what you were feeling back then? What words come to mind?
I think it's exciting, it's motivating, it's inspiring. It's all those things, because you see
Yeah.
what's possible, not only for what you're doing to help others, but you see what that's doing for you and your own family.
I
Mhm.
was thinking hopeful too,
Mhm.
because I mean, your belief system, I shouldn't say belief system, but your belief is just really high when things are kind of all aligned and going in a direction that you're working towards.
I love that. Hopeful.
I would say contagious confidence.
I
And
agree.
can I throw something in that's semi-related to this?
Mhm.
Is I was thinking back on that, and it's interesting timing because the other day we went to the restaurant where the first time I made ED, we were in the restaurant when it posted. And so all those feelings of that first time and watching the phone, and it's not up yet, it's not up yet, but watching that and the kind of all the feelings surrounding that, and being very aware of that just 2 days ago, that it's a fight to reach that right now versus I'm climbing, I'm climbing, I'm climbing. And so it takes a mindset shift that, at least for me, that I didn't need at that time.
Yeah.
So getting back to something feels harder. It's kind of like I've got to go on 5 and 1, and it's not as easy the second time, and the weight doesn't come off as fast the second time. It's kind of that same inner battle, and just trying to approach it differently. And I guess if I'm totally honest, that's kind of what I'm hoping we can address in here, is how do we support one another in the second time or third time or whatever time it is,
Yeah.
to reach something that felt so good.
Yeah. Okay, so let's address it. Let's talk about it. What do you think when and I identify with that wholeheartedly, Vicky. Like, and I all feel like it's going through a season of grief, like grieving, like, oh, I'm not there.
Yeah.
So what do you do to move yourself into that mindset? Or what could you do to move yourself into that mindset?
I mean, the first thing that I would say, and it's truth, I'm not just saying it because it's the right thing to say, but the first thing to do is to get into action.
Mhm.
And I feel like the action has to be something different than it's been before. And honestly, that's where I kind of, I'm like, okay. But I some of the standby methods I think are still valid and still, but I'm kind of hoping that we get a strong brainstorming session with this group of 6 power people of what's something new we can do, or whether, and it doesn't even have to be getting into action with inactive clients or whatever, but even if it's an action to support people, and whether, I mean, anyway, just trying to, it's like I want to change my whole perspective on it, because looking at it the old way isn't working for me. I don't know about anybody else, but looking at it the old way isn't working. It's not motivating me, it's not inspiring me, it's not exciting me. So I feel like something has to root change.
Yeah. So new action.
Can I piggyback on top of that? So just Vicky, being completely honest with you, I have realized in my journey, because I went all the way back down and really struggled to even maintain that for a little bit. And it kind of like took the wind out of my sails. And like, how you ever have your breath knocked out of you and you're like, oh God, I'm dying for a minute. That was 100% where I was. And I realized there were cracks in my why for coaching foundation that I had just kind of spackled over like, oh, that's not a big deal. Oh, that's not a heart issue. And they were changing how I was approaching, even as I was trying to apply these new mindset lessons that had been poured into me. And so one of the gifts, and I kind of chuckle as I say that because at the time it did not feel like a gift. It did not feel like a gift going through Christmas, not knowing how I was going to provide for any of my 3 children, or extended family members. But now being where I am now, and the conversations that I had, not knowing if they were going to lead to anything, that I showed up like just to show up for that person and not even having an attachment at the end, which is what Dee was saying, what Meg was saying, what Lauren was saying, like all along, right? Like you show up for these people unattached to an outcome. And I would kind of laugh it off, like, how do you do that, right? But now there's people who are trickling back into my life after watching me like through December and until now. And they're having conversations and talking about things with me that I said as I was living those chapters, that now they've seen that I've actively been like clawing my way back up, and I know it's been a claw, but they are reaching out and like pointing to examples that I didn't think anybody was noticing. And that is so humbling. And that's what I want to say to every person here is like, I look on the screen for who has showed up, and it's bringing tears of like, I'm thankful for you because I watch you that same way. And just as a reminder that like, that's why this is different, guys. It just is. This is different and it's worth it. And I'm not there yet, but I'm gonna get there. And when I get there, I'm gonna have such a stronger why for coaching than I did that first time when I was kind of cocky because I didn't realize what it really meant. And now I get it.
Elizabeth, you just your last sentence about the cockiness and now realizing the value of what we have. And in full disclosure, same thing. Because when we had last week team time, the 4Ds of the lies in our head, the one that stood out for me was delusion. It was easy before. I didn't have to work hard at all before. So I took getting to executive director for granted. I mean, and I actually took this the other day. I never did this before, but I went back and I looked at all of my performance and how quickly I grew, and realizing that I grew to ED very fast. And in that, I got very comfortable with where I was because I didn't have to work very hard for it. And now I'm in that season where I have to do things that I didn't do before. Like I have to talk to myself more and encourage myself more. So like even my vision board, I actually changed. So last year, this, well, you can't see, let me take my little filter out. Last year, I did a vision board and I put all these little different things and places I wanted to go and things that I wanted to do. But this year, I actually, if you look at this, if I can't see, but I put a lot of I am statements all over it. Because I realized that I get in my head and I say what I can't do a lot of times or what I don't feel like a lot of times. And I moved it from behind me to where I actually look at it and see it every time I'm sitting at my desk. And so even in that, I have to build myself up more now, it seems like, than I did going executive director. And I held executive director for a year and a half, like no problem. But then it came, what, December? And I haven't hit it since. And so it's like, having to, like you said, gear up to do all the things, but I'm realizing right now, it is actually more about me building myself up and confidence in myself than before.
So am I correct in hearing both of you say either the same or similar things? And Lucy, you stated it closely to kind of where my mind is. The work involved is different. It's different. Success kind of fell to a lot of us, just kind of happened. Maybe we had one or two clients that were tremendous referrals, or maybe, people saw a Facebook post and were like, I want in, whatever. And now our work has to come from a different place, more from in here. And I'm hoping I'm not the only one who did this, but my why for becoming a coach, or at least what I said my why was for becoming a coach, was to help other people get healthy. And I mean, I was very altruistic and also not very honest. I mean, that's bluntly stated. So is that a part of it? Absolutely. Is that the primary part of it? That needs to be reevaluated. So am I hearing what you're saying and filtering it through?
Yeah, I think so.
accurately?
Yeah, I think so. And my why hasn't changed. My why has always been, and you know how much I adore Chris. Well, all of y'all know how much I adore Chris. Has always been to allow him the opportunity to leave his job or find something that he truly enjoys.
Mhm.
But life has happened, as all of you know, in the last year, and I just backtracked from that why and just been living in a survival mode.
Mhm.
And so what I'm doing now is remembering why, yeah, I love helping people, but my why is I want my husband to be happy and enjoy life with me,
Mhm.
and so getting back to that and letting that fuel me to do the things that I may not want to do, to encourage myself to more, to remember these I am statements or say these I am statements out loud, to give me the confidence, even if it's just to make one call or to send one email, you know. Um, yeah.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. And I'm curious if we could go back to when we felt excited, motivated, inspired, hopeful. We had that contagious confidence. We had that mindset shift and all that. Like when we were at the top of our game, what would you say was true about you then?
Versus now?
Yeah. Or just when you think about that person, that Gina, the top of her game, how would you describe her?
Mm.
But, for yourself.
I think I had a vision that I've had to reform. I think that when it was easy and when it was happening, um, because like I grew quickly while I was on my weight loss journey. I lost 64 pounds in 4.5 months. So I had a radical transformation. It was very obvious. So as people encountered me, either through social media or in my real life, it was a talking point. It just came up naturally. And because it was new and nothing had worked like this before, I was on fire for it in a different way. And what I've learned now is, for me now, the slow burn that's going to change the legacy of my 3 daughters when it comes to the pre-existing conditions in our family is the community, is the habits of health, is the lifelong transformation part, is the fact that that worked then, but it's still working now and sustaining my health is what really should have me on fire every day. And showing up that way and creating quality content with a specific person in mind. It's taking more time and energy, but it's also something I can really get behind on the long end.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. So I think, and man, I feel like this 30 minutes just flew by because I'm looking at the time. We have just a couple minutes left. one of the things I want to make sure that we do is number one, take a picture. And I would love to somehow, if you'll put in the chat how much weight you've lost, I'll tabulate that for us and we'll have that. So I want to take a picture, but also the takeaway that we would have, and I'm going to, okay.
So do you want the weight, the weight loss and the, then how much we've gained back and?
No, just the weight loss,
Just saying.
just the weight loss.
I'm there too, Vicky. It's fine.
We all have been there.
I'm
Yeah.
there. I'm there.
And you are welcome here. Welcome here. But okay, so I think a good action step from our time today till our time next Thursday would be to get a note card, and I want you to write on it, I will blank, whatever the thing you know you need to work on. So like Lucy's is follow up. I will follow up with you decide what you want by what date. If yours is like, I need to earn the client support plus bonus in March, then I will help 2 new clients by the end of March. Whatever it is that you've got going on. And it might be, I need to remind myself of who I was a couple of months ago or a couple of years ago, or I need to work on my mindset. So I'm going to go back to getting my, I have the Meg is thing where I remember who I am. So maybe you need to go back to remembering who you are. But that is the goal. So get a note card, write what you will do and post it. We have a Facebook group. I've invited some of you, but not yet all of you. So I'll do that. Does that sound good?
Mhm.
Sound like
What's the
something-
name of the Facebook group, Meg?
It is called Convention Champions.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna make shirts. It's gonna be great.
I love it. I love it. Okay, let's smile real quick and then I'll tell y'all what our tabulated number is. And Jennifer, just be safe. Don't worry about smiling. Okay. And I'm going to tabulate this before we add our friends. If you want to stay, we've got
Hey, Meg, I wasn't smiling. Can we do it
oh,
again?
yes, we can.
No, too late.
Okay, got it.
Hey guys,
Um,
can I share a win before I hop off? Because I have to go get my daughter. My 3rd new client of the month is trying to place her order right now.
Awesome.
Fabulous.
Praise God. But it's someone who's been watching me since August, guys. And so it's just that power of the slow burn and consistency.
Yeah, I think that's another reminder. Just keep posting, just
Yeah.
keep sharing, living out loud, and people are watching.
Right.
that's true.
I think it's 201, Meg.
Yeah, I know. I need to add them. So I'll stop the recording. We've lost 243 pounds.
Wow, awesome.